We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fair to say. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello, Aromas. This is Aromie here. Welcome back to Randal Hollywood. We're here. We're gonna be going to talk to Randal because he is now our husband. As I approached Randal and his group, he murmured something quickly to them, then slipped out of the circle. Oh, hi, love. Hi, Michiko, or hey, Michiko. Couldn't stay away from us, huh? No, I can't. You having a rough time up in Queen Bitch's tower, or is there just a beach bum inside you dying to come out? A little of column A and B, probably. I thought I'd just see if anything interesting was happening tonight. It might be a lot of things, but a beach bum is not one of them. No, cause he loves the beach, so let's not be like, nah, about that whole situation. A little of column A and B, probably. Poor Michiko, the closest beach bum. The closet beach bum. Just about breaks my heart. He snickered softly, shaking his head. Something I can do for you then. Anything you want to ask me? Alright. Can you tell me about the Malar? Well, we probably have some kind of deep, complicated history that I don't know jack shit about. We do get around, though. Medieval factions, secret societies, fighting rings, mafia gangs. A lot of what you've read about in textbooks probably have Mavars involved somewhere. He shrugged, his gaze briefly drifting around the living room. As society changes, so do we, so do all vampires. The big difference between us and the rest is, well, beyond enhanced senses and strength and shit, that we're always part of a group. Though Mavar, they're pretty rare. Couldn't really tell you why. Instinct, I guess. A need to be part of something bigger. Sorry, kid, that's all about it, God. How do you cope with being a vampire? Cope? You make it sound like it's a shitty life. Ever since I became a vampire, I've never looked back. Best thing that ever happened to me. So I don't cope. I try to enjoy every night. Do you think there's an ideal ruling system for vampires? Yeah, where everybody rules themselves. Of course, you're gonna have shitty people doing shitty things, but if they step on someone's toes and there's no law against delivering justice, things work out. We're vampires. We all have got ways to survive. If somebody can't handle the night, that's not my problem. You're right. Our society doesn't have to be like a human one. That's a pretty harsh outlook, but it could work. I have to disagree. The strong should protect the weak. I don't think he would appreciate if I said the strong should protect the weak. Because why is it their responsibility that you're weak and you can't protect them yourself, right? That's his prior mindset. But they also don't have to be ruled like a human like society, because they're not humans, they're vampires. They have different restrictions against them, like they can't taste anything or like feel anything, like emotion. Well, they can probably feel emotion wise, but they can't have like sexual pleasure or anything. They don't have pleasure sense in them or taste buds for food, which sucks. I guess that's a pretty harsh outlook, but it could work. Hey, it works for animals, and we're just animals with bigger brains. Well, some of us have bigger brains. Just because there are more people to keep kept alive, that doesn't mean it's a better society, just a bigger one. Randall shrugged, grimacing briefly. Ooh, did he not like that? Did he not like that choice? Hold on. You're right, our society doesn't have to be like a human one? Yeah, exactly. Just because there are more people kept alive doesn't mean it's a better society. Okay. It seems like he doesn't really care too much. He still has that same reaction. I kind of still like my previous choice though. The whole, it's pretty harsh. Why do you live on the beach? Isn't it sunny? It's not as bad as you think, actually. I mean, you're not gonna catch me getting a tan or anything, and I've got some good shades in my room. But I like being near the ocean. It's big and it doesn't give a fuck. How can you get more inspired than that? No, but more seriously, this place is far enough from Hollywood and downtown LA that the Scary don't really fuck with us, besides me. I want the clan to be able to hang out anywhere in the city, but hey, better to reign in hell than rule in heaven, right? Not that I call Hollywood heaven, though. But someone else? What do you think of Markus? I haven't known him that long, but I've always looked up to the guy. He just doesn't give a fuck. Well, I guess he sells fucks at his shop, but that's a different story. He's helped me out before too. Never really know why he does a lot of shit he does, but I don't know. I just like having him around. Will he ever join the rebel side, you think? Do you know how old he is? Huh, you know, he never told me. I figured he'd be a few 100 years old, maybe more, but it's pretty hard to pin him down. Let me know if you figure it out. You and he. He's everything I hate, wrapped up in one baby-faced little package. I wonder if we could skip... Okay, we can't skip this, but we've read this before, so I guess we can recap. Weak, can't think for himself, drools over his leader, does everything she's asked. You know, these days, I barely even see him as a person. Do you really hate Charisse that much? I hate what she stands for, the fact that she thinks her leadership is the only thing keeping LA's coven from eating itself alive. It pisses me off that she acts like vampires have to be protected from themselves, because she just doesn't understand that we're not human anymore. Queen bitch herself? No, I don't hate her. But sure as fuck we'll be going golfing with her anytime soon, you can count on that. Do you know Aloysia? Oh, that girl. Yeah, she's pretty cool. We're not close or anything, but for a human, she actually kicks ass. Something that happened? Okay, nothing. That's all for now. Nah, okay. I'll ring you up soon if anything interesting happens. These days seems like there's always some kind of excitement. Take care until then, Michiko. With a gentle smile, Randal nodded at me once, then turned to rejoin the conversation he'd left earlier. Alright, well, let's leave. Do we get to go home, or... Slipping out of the beach house, I made my way back across the sand. I'm gonna... visit Saturnalia? I should still get... Wait, this isn't my people. Shit! Wait, that's not my people. I'm not a fucking Iskari anymore. I need to focus on my own people. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna go Blood and Roses, because I keep forgetting I'm a Golgotha now. I'm not an Iskari, so I don't need to get close to Iskari people. Alright. I decided to stop by Blood and Roses to check if Markus was around. He probably has some interesting insights to offer, as usual. And a lot for me to blur out, as usual. Oh god. I think that's okay, right? I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. If I had the question, I had to blur it. I found Markus in front of the large floor mannequin, shuffling his feet in some kind of strange movement. When I stepped closer, he came to a stop, swiveling around to face me. Ah, Michiko. It seems you caught me practicing the salsa with my partner, my evening exercise. I could be your partner instead. I'm a little softer than plastic. Oh, sorry, should I leave? I didn't know you were a dancer. I could be your partner. But that's just it. What if I should drop you? No, better not take the risk. Damn. Well, is there anything else I can do for you, sister? My ears are at your disposal. I have a question about you. So why do you wear those sunglasses? They are to make people feel smart when they so cleverly pick up on the irony. After all, a simple fashion statement would just be too incongruous with my elusive nature. Next question. Are you allied with any of the leaders? Have you already forgotten my advice, sister? A smart man doesn't hitch a ride. Wheels break down, but the will to keep walking? Never. But you work for Charisse, don't you? I thought it was hard to be completely neutral here. So you double-cross everyone. Oh, no, that was simply uncalled for. Double-cross. I don't even cross the street without looking both ways first. Markus clicked his tongue, quirking a brow at me. The truth of the matter is I contribute to every side and assist none. Like all supposedly philanthropic thought causes. Philanthropic? They hold no meaning for me. Once upon a time I pretended to care as most people do, but no longer. His gaze drifted idly away as if the subject had somehow lost his interest. What made you decide to run a sex shop? My reasoning is rather simple. The more sordid and visceral something is, the more society and its morals label it as taboo. The more it fascinates the repressed masses. Turn on a TV or read the news and see for yourself. Rock and Roll Kennedy's assassination tape, the Manson murders, Dracula, Kurt Cobain, the crucifixion, most famously. He gestured toward the television screen above the counter, its picture silently buzzing with static. Nothing's more tantalizing than the natural instincts we're made to feel guilty for. Sex, violence, power. Myself, I find sexuality to be most interesting and easily exploitable of mankind's desires. And so I set up my charming little shop, which serves the dual purpose of providing modest income, while also constructing a psychological exhibit for me to study. It's also quite amusing to force the city leaders into visiting me here. Nobody can naturally hide my name among a sea of fallacies. My god, what a missed opportunity! So cute. How old are you exactly? Well, as a man of the past, the present, and the future, the question is mighty difficult. It's a mighty difficult one. Let's just do away with bothersome numbers and say I'm however old you believe me to be. Why are you always so cryptic? You could just give me a straight answer. Alright, if you say so. He gave a short, satisfied nod. What do your Golgotha visions look like? Ooh. My visions, dearest Michiko, are of potential, of what may be there, of what exists in other realities, but is not yet discovered in our own. After all, we merely skim the topmost layer of existence, though on occasion, a mind can look past it. He stared off into space for a long pause, collecting his thoughts before continuing. In the grand scheme of time, we've only just discovered the subatomic in the distant skies, and only because these things allow themselves to be discovered by our eyes. How many other things are invisible to all our senses to the paltry workings of science? How many things exist because beyond our clumsy, self-important ideas of the metaphysical ghosts and deities poured in to obsess over our tiny shelves? Not shelves. How many things are out there that we just cannot comprehend? In the centuries to come, we'll look back on ourselves like we have, time and time again, and smile at our quaint ideas. Smile at the idea of religion like we now smile at little children. Smile at gravity like we now smile at those who thought the world flat. Smile at simple morality like we now smile at apes. Markus let out a faint chuckle, but it sounded more wistful than mocking. I forgot my question at this point. Oh, his visions. My visions allow me to see these alternative features laid upon our own, and it's always quite distressing. Good and evil weren't always what they are now, nor will they be the same in 100 years. Thus it seems folly to me, as a man for all ages, to chain myself to some moral rock of the century. We'll look back on the atrocities of earlier days and say times were different then. But I desire to look from the future to the present, to see what we will one day consider primitive and backwards thinking. These outdated ideas will carry past our lifetime. I see you've got some interesting ideas, Markus. What are your own morals then? Quite simple. Do as one pleases and do unto others as they've done unto you. Treasure and protect those who bring you delight. But love and hate carefully, for those passions lose their meaning when tossed forth without care. But there's one thing I would never ever abide, the abuse of innocence. Children are childlike, and pets who are children in their own ways. There's a difference between the strong ruling the weak, and the strong abusing those who cannot defend themselves. That is not strength, for there's nothing noble about exercising power on the defenseless. Such abusers are simply weak themselves, perpetuating a cycle they too endured. But I believe they should be discarded to build a stronger society. He ended up with a note of bitterness in his voice, staring at the carpet. Do you know vampire physiology works? Ah yes, the most lurid of questions that everybody simply dying to know. Markus lets out a gentle sigh. We can replicate most of the human biology without too much effort, but it's not a subconscious affair, like breathing was as immortal. Producing arousal usually requires concentration or mental attunement, the subject willing their blood to flow downwards. Blushing is also possible, in fact, but what kind of pathetically cutesy creature would choose to blush on purpose? It loses the entirety of its charm, so you almost never find a vampire so shamelessly pretentious. Though I suppose there are exceptions. Who's the exception? What do you think of Heath? He's the last boy if I have ever seen one. A circular block that can't fit in a square slot, and a star child who doesn't understand our world. Alas, self-loathing is just another form of narcissism. Perhaps even the most severe form, absorbed in self-pity, misery. Your thoughts always focus on your own depression. That's why his use of drugs is constant, though most of them aren't narcotics of the bloodstream, for drugs come in many forms. Television, movies, video games, food, sleep, celebrities, music. Everything we use to escape. Wow. What's your relationship with Randal in the next episode? I'm actually learning quite a lot. Now that I'm not in Heath's route, I do see what their point of views are on Heath. I somewhat agree with them. But I was delusional because I was in Heath's route, so I didn't listen to everything that they were saying about Heath. But now, not playing Heath, I can see it all. Like, Heath was legit a lost boy, and I feel so bad for his route because I was really excited for his route, but I don't think his route was probably my most favorite. It's not probably gonna be my most favorite. It's probably gonna be like my rank 3. So between Markus and Randal, I don't know who's gonna be number 1. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Touch it, touch it, touch it.